6:30, so 6:30.
And then other people, I'll share the recording with other people, so it's not a big deal once I start. It says redirecting to Zoom. All right, let me make sure I'm muted over here. All right, I'm muted over there. You taught me that. All right, so I'm gonna come back over here and pause.
Hello, Yolanda Roberts.
Hello, Yolanda Roberts. Oh my goodness. Welcome, girl. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. I think some people might be having issue going in, but I'm broadcasting it live regardless. It's live on YouTube. So I will share the link back out to anyone else that has missed it or anyone else that needs to share it. But Yolanda and I have been communicating, I think, for the past few days and stuff like that. And she is eager and welcome. She's eager and welcome to purchase a home. But I'm gonna get started, and then after that, I'll have you say hello and introduce yourself. But I'm Viv Cunningham, and I'm with Preferred Real Estate Brokers. I am in real estate now 18 years, and I love working with first-time home buyers. And I started this workshop I do Neville and I teach the HUD certified class, and that is 3 nights, and we go through that class so quickly. And I'm finding that for me, being a realtor, I am overwhelmed with all the information that I put out and Neville and I put out. And then because we have to be governed by the platform and we have to be within a certain period of time and we have to end a certain period of time, we got to put this information out. And when Friday gets here at 9 o'clock, we need to be finished with all 5 modules along with everything else that we need to do. So I decided I was going to go ahead and start this. So any additional question that anyone have, they can come on over here and ask their question. And so Neville and I can hold their hands and help them get started, in order to be able to purchase a home and they're not left behind. So that's why, Yolanda, you're here and you've been really awesome. I'm going to have Neville introduce himself, and then you can also talk a little bit after Neville finish introducing himself. Neville?
Hey guys, my name is Neville Smith. I'm a realtor with Preferred Real Estate Brokers here in Central Florida. And first-time home buyers is our jam. Both Viv and myself, we definitely love working with first-time home buyers, trying to navigate the process. As I say in the class, it's not like buying a jug of milk. You just don't walk into the store, pick it up, and give them your money and get some change back. There's a whole group of people pulling and tugging at you, asking you for different things. It does take some discipline because, for example, once you get that pre-approval, that doesn't mean that you're done. There's some other steps along the way. So we're going to go through a lot of that tonight and just go from there. So once again, Neville Smith, Preferred Real Estate Brokers, Realtor.
And we, Yolanda, we're going to go slowly. So each slide that we go through, if you have any question, we're here. It's not like we're rushed or anything like that. We will go slowly to make sure that you understand, and any you have any question, we'll go ahead and answer those questions for you. So let me share my screen.
Well, although Yolanda is the only person we have in this Zoom with us, there's others I'm pretty sure that's looking at YouTube. And if you have questions there, please put it in the comments. Even if we don't answer it tonight, we will respond at some point in the near future for you. So no question is silly because it's not a simple process, like I said, as far as just buying some milk or whatever product.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
What does it say?
Welcome to our home workshop.
All right. All right. So we are at the right place. We are at the correct place. So welcome to your home buyers workshop. Even if you think you can't purchase, we are here to help guide you through the process. Let me put it on presentation where I can present it. So we are here to help guide you through the process of making sure that if you actually want to purchase a home, you are able to do that and guide you step by step. And remember, no matter how many questions that you have, we are here to answer those questions for you. And so far I've gotten where people got 50, $70,000. You can't judge yourself. Don't judge yourself because everyone get a certain amount. The last two houses that Neville and I closed on, those buyer ended up getting $50,000. So each person is different. There's Neville and I has closed on properties that they only got about 7,000. Some of them get 10,000. So until you actually get started, we don't really know where you are, and that's why I had you meet with the lender in order for him to be able to tell you how do you get the most money, how do you get your credit up to where you need to get it at, and in order for you to be able to purchase. So we welcome you. That's why this little thing that says we secure $50,000 in down payment, that is true. That is true. They secured $50,000 in down payment. Orange County ended up giving them 40, and the lender ended up giving them another 10,000. So how to buy a home in Florida even if you cannot afford it. Okay. We sorry, I couldn't make it. Oh, somebody's texting me, sorry. Okay, so I introduced myself a little bit and tell you I'm in real estate now over 18 years. I'm the past president of the Realtor Association of Lake and Sumter County up here. And Neville and I specialize in VA, first time home buyers, seniors, down payment assistance. We specialize in that. So we go from one end of the spectrum to the other. So we go from first time home buyers all the way to seniors because that is what we do. We making sure that home buyers are taken care of, first time home buyers are taken care of, and also seniors because seniors is their last home, so first and last. Like first and last month payment. So meet my team. My team is Neville, and then also sometimes I have Beverly as a buyer's agent. She'll go out and show houses for me. So just in case I am not here, and they make my life a lot easier. So our goal tonight is to make sure home ownership feels clear and it's achievable. Okay, that's what we are, and we're going to take our time making sure that any question that you have. I can't see my chat, but Neville, if you watch the chat, just in case anyone has any question, and keep in mind that there's other people that are watching live because we're on YouTube live as well. Next month I'm going to be broadcasting live on a bunch of other channels. So then therefore, but this one platform we would be able to see all the messages because it was funny last night after I got off my Zoom on YouTube, there was quite a few people that was asking question on there, but because the platform weren't talking to each other, I was not able to see it. So I ended up I have to go back and answer those questions for them, while they were offline. So this is why we exist. Too many people are told you can't buy without real guidance. Home buyers buying feels confusing, it's stressful, and it's overwhelmed. And I can tell that people get overwhelmed because when Neville and I teach the class, that's the way I feel. Because when I call everyone and ask them about did they get their certificate, yes, they got their certificate, but they're lost and they don't really know where to go. And that's why we're here to answer any question. Misinformation can keep good people stuck in on the sideline, and that's why I started this. I'm one of those person I lay down and God will tell me to do something. And a lot of time if I don't do it, then he chastise me. So I get up and I do it, and to being able to help people. And that's why we put on this earth. We have to find our calling. What is our calling? What is God telling us to do? And when we go outside of that, then we're not successful because we don't listen to what God is talking when he's talking in that soft voice. This is what you need to do. The home buyers need to help. You need to be helping them, your team and you. Okay. What you'll walk away with knowing today is how the home buying process actually works, because I know you're going to be going through that. What matters most and what doesn't when getting started. And we'll go through all of that as well. How down payment assistance can help reduce. Lender, down payment. Can you
You'll get to that in a little bit,
okay,
Viv.
all right,
Keep
okay, yeah,
going. Keep
right.
going.
Yeah, we'll get to that when we get there. How down payment assistance work can reduce assistant can help reduce out-of-pocket costs, and then what your next step should be based on your situation. So everyone's situation is different. So that's why we're going to take you, Yolanda, step by step through this process. So the real myth about buying a home. And Neville, if you need to chime in, please also do that as well. What we're going to cover is we're going to cover the biggest misconception of do you need 20% down? My credit score has to be perfect. Should I wait until rate drop? We'll go over that. And then renting is cheaper. So let's go over where it says the biggest misconception, do I need 20% down? Okay, so they have loans and things like that that you can get for zero money down. Okay. You can get loan for 1% down, you can get loan for 3.5% down, and you can get loan for 3% down. Okay, so that depends. And keep that in mind that the seller can give you all of your closing costs, but the seller cannot give you your down payment. It's two different things. Your down payment is different from your closing costs. Okay, but a combination, it might be around 7% or 7.5% you need down. So you might be able to come up with 3.5%, and then the seller might be able to come up with another 3% for you, and that's your closing cost. Keep in mind, all of this money can come from bond, grants, loan, all that stuff. It can come from Orange County. And so far, I've seen that most buyers are taking anywhere between $2,500 to $3,500 out their pocket. You need to have, I would say, a good cushion to have savings inside your account is $3,500. But keep in mind that sometimes, remember, it's the underwriter that makes the decision. It's not the lender. Okay. The lender collects all the documents and then sends it over to the underwriter. I had something came back to me the other day, and we were using Hometown Heroes program. Lender got all the paperwork together, send it over to the underwriter, and the underwriter sends the paperwork back and says the buyer did not put in enough hours. Okay, they were short 4 hours per week. So because of that, the buyer was not able to get the down payment assistance from Hometown Heroes. So you find things like that because the underwriter is the one that's going to make the final decision on that. My credit score has to be perfect. If your credit score is at least 640, the top credit score is over a little over 800. If your credit score is at least 640, you're good to go when it comes to getting the down payment assistance or getting a grant or the bond or whatever it is. That's the sweet spot right there around 640. But you do want to make sure that you are getting more credit score. Let's say you were at 640, make sure you get at least 680 or something like that, just in case they pull your credit score. Because if you have HEA, which is the Home Buyers Education Pull Your Credits, it's a soft pull. So it will not drop your credit score because they're just going to do a soft pull. The government allowed them to do that because they're HUD certified and they're housing counselor. If you go to the lender now, the lender is going to do a hard pull on your credit score, and it might drop it 10, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 30 points. But then at least they know what they're doing. They can do something called rescore, and then they can rescore you back up to whatever it is that you need to be at. Should I wait until rate drops? Okay, so for me, I would say no, because I would say I talk about something about marrying the house and date the rate, because you own the house, you have the house, and then you're dating the rate, because remember, you can always refinance the house to get it down to where you need it to go. So let's say you started off at 7% or 6% or something like that. You can refinance it when the rate drops, because eventually rate might drop. But for now, you cannot wait on that, because when you wait on that, what's going to happen? The cost of the house, the price of the house is going to go up further. So then therefore you're going to lose regardless. So it's better that you start off at the high interest rate and then refinance down compared to buying the house at a higher price. And then renting cheaper than rent. Never, you want to take that one?
Well, my view on is renting cheaper. It depends on how long you're going to be in the house, for one, in that property. But overall, with having a mortgage, you have something that helps you with your taxes at that point. So, renting being cheaper, no, not necessarily. It just depends on time.
Yes,
You?
and Yeah, and I know I'll add a little bit that to that as well. Renting is for some people, it's not for everyone, and buying is not for everyone. You have to figure out where is it that you want to be, how comfortable do you want to do? Do you want to create generational wealth, compared to paying somebody else's rent and their mortgage and their salary? You got to think about that. Why can't you own your own home? And why, a lot of people are borrowing money from their property and go buy other property. So hey, why can't you create generational wealth for your family? And leave something behind for your family. That's where most majority of the time when they talk about stock market and things like that, most people buy houses in order to create generational wealth. Not everyone. Some people might invest their money in crypto. Some people might invest their money in the stock market. Some people might be a day trader. But majority of the people, I've had so many people that text me daily and telling me that they're looking to buy a house. Do I have anything off market? I don't have off market property because our broker don't allow us to keep off market property. So you know what? I don't have any of those. But once I list the property on the multiple listing service, I can send it to them because sometimes it's a fixer upper because um investors are looking for fixer upper where they can buy a property low and sell it high. Understanding the credit without being overwhelmed. Okay, so credit score are a range. Okay, it's not a pass or fail. It's a range of numbers between a certain numbers. You might start. I've seen people say they start their credit score is 400, and I've seen people say their credit score is over 800. You don't need an 800 credit score to buy a house. Just like I said, you just need at least about a 640. You should be good right there. The biggest thing that hurts credit lately is late payments. You need to make sure that you're paying your payments on time, and then collection and high balances. So for me, I would say go ahead and pay the balances down to 29% of the face value of your credit card. So if you have $100 value on your credit card, don't charge no more than $29 on it to keep your credit score where you need it to be. Okay, and keep your payment on making your payment on time and keep all your account open as well. Don't close any of them. Okay. Don't close no and don't worry about taking out any new accounts because a lot of time they're not going to count those because they're new. They want to see how you pay over time. It's just like quitting your job. Don't quit your job, because they want to see how long you've been on your job, the longevity on your job. So you want to make sure that wherever the lender approve you at, that's where you stay. Don't deviate from where they approve you at. Don't say, okay, they approved me at 620, my credit score. Now my credit score is 600. No, you have to stay at the 620. And then improvement, it does takes time, usually months. It takes, that's why I always tell people, my home buyers that's in the class, I said, go ahead when you finish with the home buyers class, go ahead and get started now. Don't wait to get started because if you wait to get started, it might take you 6 or 7 months to fix your credit, and you really don't want that. So improvement takes time. But remember, progress matters more than perfection. Not everything has to be perfect. You don't have to have $10,000 saved inside the bank. If you have a few $1,000s saved, which you need for your escrow, okay, you might need about anywhere between 1,000 to maybe 3,000 or something like that for your escrow, depending on what you and the seller decide. And then the key to remember is progress. You make little baby step. Okay, you have to make baby step in order to get to where you need to be. A lot of babies, they don't just born and then they get up and then they walk. Okay, you keep making little step until you get to where you need to be. But the key to that is don't give up. Okay, we're not looking for perfection of credit or perfect credit. We're focused on progress and getting you move forward, and that is why we're here tonight to answer any question and take it slowly, to make sure that you're understanding the credit without being overwhelmed. I have on here to check your credit. You need to go to annual credit report. And since COVID, Neville and I learned that you can check your credit now weekly, so you can see what's on it. And here are the three credit. You can pull one at a time. You don't have to pull all three of them. Equifax, Experian, and TransUnion. You can pull one at a time, one each month or something like that, until you get to where you want to go and get to where your credit you need to build in order to build your credit. Home unemployment. Okay. So Neville, do you want to take this one? What do you want to say about this one? The income and the employment.
You can go ahead. You keep
All
talking
right.
through.
All
Keep
right. So
talking.
W-2 versus 1099. All right. So W-2, most people are W-2, but you find that there is some people that are 1099. And 1099, that mean you're your own independent contractor. A W-2, that mean you punch a clock and you get 30 hours, 40 hours or whatever, and you punch that clock, you punch in and out. So at the end of the year, at the beginning of the year, by January 31st, your employer would give you a W-2. Or if not, if you're 1099, they will give you a 1099. The deadline is usually the 31st of the first month in the year, and then you can go ahead and file your taxes for that. But both can qualify you. Okay, both can qualify you. So it doesn't matter if you're W-2, because we got 1.3 million realtor in the United States, and most of them are 1099. There's hardly any realtors that usually it's not a 1099. So and we all buy houses, and the paperwork is just different. Job changing and gaps, they're going to want to make sure that there's no gaps inside your job. You can't you before, when there was COVID, they will allow you for a gap and stuff like that, or they call it gap something. But now, they need to be you need to be have consistent employment. So you don't want any gaps in there. So it's not really a deal breaker, because some lenders can figure out ways around it. The key thing is not to tell any lies on your application. Okay. The key thing
Straightforward.
is, huh?
I said be straightforward. That's all.
Yes, definitely be straightforward on that. Because what will happen if you're straightforward, the lender can help you and he can guide you, just like with your taxes. Let's say you needed to file your taxes. You talk to the lender and you haven't filed your taxes yet. The lender might tell you, okay, this is where you need to file your taxes. Don't write off anything. Okay, because a lot of people tend to write off stuff so they don't have to pay the taxes and stuff like that. But if you don't have to write off stuff because you need that extra salary, because whatever you write off, that means you're not getting it, and you need to make sure that you're actually getting whatever it is that you write off. You don't really want. I mean, when I first started in business, I used to write off everything, but now I don't do that anymore, because if not, I can't buy a car, I can't buy a house, I can't buy this, and I can't buy that. And it's something that you don't want. Job changes, make sure that there's no gap in there. Overtime, bonuses, those count if it's consistent. If you're receiving it consistently, then they count. But if it's something that you only do every so often, then you know what, they're going to back it out. And I've seen that the lender can do that. Let's say the lender say you were making 40 hours a week, but it's not consistent. You were only consistent on your paycheck at 36 hours. They're going to back out the other 4 hours, like they did to the buyer that I was telling you about. What lenders look for, they're looking for steady income over time, and they're not looking for perfection. Remember, many buyers disqualify themselves too early. A quick review can change everything. So that's why talk to your realtor, talk to your lender, and see what it is that needs to be done in order to move you forward. If you really want to own a house, you got to fight for it. It's not something that necessarily it comes that easily. You really have to fight. You really have to fight for it. Down payment assistance and grants. Hold on a second. I see two zoomed on here. I wonder what's going on. Okay, I guess. Oh no, that's the screen share. Okay. All right. I just want to make sure that there's nobody down there waiting. Okay, down payment and assistance and grants. Okay, so you have local funding, you have county, and you have state programs are available. Okay. Find out from your lender. Ask question and says, Mr. Lender, what kind of program can I qualify for? Do you have stackable program that can work for me? Many first-time home buyers qualify for so many different programs that's out there, but a lot of time they don't take advantage of it because they don't really know the questions to ask. I came up with a question. I think it was like the 10 most question to ask, the best question to ask a lender. And I think I also have another one, first time home buyers question. I think I might have sent that out to you guys to say if it's something that question, because a lot of time you don't really know what question to ask to see. Another question to ask the lender as well is, have you done any down payment assistance, and how many have you done? Because some of them will take your application and I've never done any down payment assistance. Hang on, let me make sure nobody's waiting. Yeah. they have never, but they just took the application because they want the business. That's not what you want. You want to make sure that they know how to do it and they can do it. Income limit and occupation can open more option. Grants are forgivable. Make sure you check in to see if it's forgivable. Even if it's not forgivable, you can still take it because some of these grants are silent. Okay, that means you get them and you never have to make any payment on them. All you have to do is live in the house. And then once you sell the house, let's say they said, depending on what you sign, read what you sign. If when you live inside the house, they might say, okay, over a period of time, it might be forgivable. Okay,
Yeah,
they might say 7 years. Yeah, go ahead, Neville. Yeah.
Oh, I was piggybacking on what you were saying as far as the proration of the amount. For example, with the Orange County down payment assistance, that's a 10-year program. And for each year that you live in the property, 10% goes off. So it's a 10-year loan. And after 10 years, you owe nothing. And while you're living in the property, you owe nothing on that loan. It's when you sell it or rent it or do something, refinance it, is when something becomes due. So within that time period, you're good. Grants, generally, you don't have to pay grants back, but you should definitely read the fine print and understand what the reality is of the money that you're getting. Your turn.
Yes. Yep. That's exactly. So knowledge is power. You just have to find out what it is. But seek and ye shall find. If you don't seek, you don't find. If you don't ask question, Yolanda, I know you say you ask a lot of question, and we're gonna after this we're gonna do a lot of chatting. Each slide, just jot down your question for me. Jot it down, and then what we'll do, we will take them one by one and answer them. Make sure that you are clear. And then the people who are listening offline, because this is also live as well, they can also, learn from the question that you're asking because we're going to be answering them. So assistant can total tens of thousands of dollars towards your home. Neville and I teach the home buyers education class, and then the main office is in Tampa. And we have seen those home buyers down there got up to $125,000 stackable grants. So, the money is out there. And then you also have to understand the money. I had a first time home buyers that I was dealing with, and then they were saying that, okay, well, okay, I'm approved for 250 and I'm getting $50,000. Does that mean I'm approved for 300,000? No, you're not. That money is a down payment. Down payment on your $350,000 home. That's a down payment. So then therefore now you're going to get a mortgage on 300,000. That's a down payment. So keep that in mind. Important. These programs are real, and we have guided many, many, many people through these programs, step by step. So they are real program. And then, I started that, years ago, where I really didn't know. And then I started in Seminole County, where I was teaching with the University of Florida up there. And then the lady that invited me to University of Florida, workshop. Then after that, Miss Maria, not Miss Maria, Miss Sylvia, asked her to work for her, and she decided to work for her. So she asked me if I want to come with her, and I said yes. So that's how I started. Actually, before I was only presenting, I would talk about a small part of the home buyers workshop, and it was all day. And then she invited me down to Orlando, and I started teaching it to helping out in Orlando and teaching it. And then COVID hit, and then we ended up bringing the home buyers workshop online, which is perfect for me because I get to stay home and teach a class compared to driving to Orlando, and spending all day there. So normally that's what we did. But I'm just grateful for the online platform where I can sit down and I can take my time, and go over the information and get people in more houses. I think Neville and I have gotten more people in houses recently than we did over many years, because we're taking our time and realize that buyers are overwhelmed when they're finished with the class. Keep in mind, there's people that comes in the class and they're already under contract and they're ready to go. They have their realtor and they have their lender. But there's also people that comes in the class that don't know, A from Z, and then they need our help. Those are the people that we cater to, the people who needs our help, and so we can help them. Down payment assistance and grants. Continue. Don't rule out your lender. Lender's credit, because some lenders will give you 2,000, 1,000, 10,000. So always ask the lender as well. Do you help with down payment assistance? Do you give credit? Do you give buyers credit? And ask the lender if they give lenders credit and how much it is, so at least you know that it's not money that you're taking out your pocket. Lenders do also have down payment assistance because they have something called a Shinora grant or Shinora loan or something like that, where I think it's just 1% out of your pocket and stuff like that, and then that grant or something give you the rest of the money. So there's just different possibility of getting in your house. For the last couple of closing, I think the last three closing or something like that, that I had, I see that the seller is giving the buyer over 20 something thousand dollars. Okay, so ask the seller for closing costs. Okay, don't leave that out. Tell your realtor, ask the seller for a closing costs. You need closing costs. Ask them for a home warranty. Because you don't really want to leave anything on the table. Let them tell you no, they're not giving it to you, but don't forget you need to still ask for it anyway. Okay, so it's really important. These programs are real, and we guide you to step by step with them. Down payment assistance and grants continue. Okay, so this little scenario that I have right here is the income for limit, and this is just on one person. Income limit for down payment assistance on household size for Orange County. There's many other counties as well. So one person for the very low income, that means very low. If they made 33,800, they can get $70,000. Okay, that's one person. One person, low income. Okay, if they made, let's say their income was $54,000, $54,000, they can get $40,000. Okay, so and then for one person with a moderate income, let's say, you see, so it's not just people who cannot afford a house. But look at that. That person there, one person is making $81,000 and they can get $10,000. So that's what I'm trying to tell you, that there's money out there. Don't leave any money on the table. You have anything to add to that, Neville?
No.
Okay.
Anytime you don't hear me answer, I've been on mute. That's all.
All right, cool. Little money out of pocket as possible. So the least amount of money I've seen people take out of their pocket is about $1,500. $1,000 is for the escrow for the seller to take the property off the market, and the other $500 would be for your inspection, because you need to get those things out the way before you actually. Oh, the only time you get the money is when the loan is approved. When the loan is approved, that's when you go pick up your check from Orange County, or the lender picks the check up, or the realtor picks the check up. Other than that, you don't get the check. So you have to have this money inside of your account in order for you to get the money. So little or no money out of pocket, that works for you. I ask the seller to help pay closing costs, and for my buyers, and then also for my buyers, for your buyer's agent, what I do is tell you to tell me, okay, to negotiate my compensation as well, so the seller will pay for it. So then you're taking little or no money out of your pocket. Other than that, if you do not negotiate the buyer's agent compensation, then you're gonna have to pay that out of your pocket, and that just depends on what the buyer charge you. Okay, and then also there's an admin fee, so you pay the buyer's compensation and an admin fee. But you can ask the seller to pay the buyer's compensation, and then you pay the admin fee. All right, that's how that works. And then of course you ask them for a home warranty, and the home warranty is going to protect all your appliances, the AC and things like that, because a lot of time when you go in, a lot of time those things might break down on you, and you want the protection. This is like an insurance policy, so you want to keep that. Costs, costs the buyers don't expect. These are what we call closing costs, and that's why we say down payment is different from closing costs. So the closing cost is going to be all these fees right here. The down payment is, that means you're buying down the house. If the house is 250 and you got a down payment of $50,000, so you're taking $50,000 off the house and you're getting a loan on the other $300,000. So that's the down payment. Closing costs. So the closing cost now is going to be the 3% of the $350,000. Okay, so that's gonna be your closing cost. So earnest money is the same thing as escrow. Okay, those are you hear they say earnest money, or they say escrow deposit. Keep in mind the escrow deposit. There's two different escrow deposits. This one here is when you're buying a house. And then there's also an escrow when you already purchased the home and they collect your insurance and they collect your taxes and the lender holds that or the bank holds that. And when your insurance is due and your taxes is due at the end of the year or whenever it's due, they send it off because you already have an escrow in your account and they're saving it for you. So then you won't get in trouble. Appraisal money the appraisal money might be upfront. Some lender might put it in your closing costs, but the appraisal money is actually upfront. They might ask you for a credit card to put that on, or they might ask you for your debit card or something like that, to get the money out. So make sure you have that money inside your account as well. That's why I said you probably need about $3,500. I can't tell you and tell you how much the appraisal is because it's a range. It's a range. You might find one appraisal is 575. You might want to find one is 675. So there's no set money, but it's in between a price, just like your credit score is in between a certain amount. That's how it goes. So it's not, you can't say, well, oh yeah, the appraiser is going to charge you 500. No, one appraiser might say no. They got to go out a little bit further. They're going to charge a little bit more. They might be say 550 or 525. So we don't really know that until you're actually paying that. Closing costs, lender fees, title fees, processing fees. Those are all things that goes with your closing costs. Escrow and prepaid are insurance and your taxes. Prepaid, those are upfront. If it's HOA, okay, your HOA is paid separately, but they will consider that closing costs as well because those are all going to be inside a bundle of money. And then what they do is they have something called a CD, okay, a closing disclosure, and they break out all these figures, all these earnest money that you put down, all these appraisal fees, all these closing costs, all these prepay item, all of them is breakdown, and you sign two different documents. One is the alta, okay, that has a figure on it, and the other one is going to be the closing disclosure, which is the same thing. So they mimic each other, but you still have to sign them separately because one of them, the closing disclosure, you need to get it 3 days before you close. If not, you cannot close. Okay, so you need to make sure your lender sending that 3 days. If it's any question, they usually know ahead of time because it's governed by the law that they have to send it 3 days before. So you don't necessarily have to ask them for it. A good lender is just going to go ahead and send it to you. They might send it to you before 3 days. They might be ready. Okay, so important key to know: some costs are negotiable. In many cases, seller may help pay certain costs. So that's why I said don't forget to ask the seller whatever it is that you need to ask them. Anything that's not in the contract, then what happens is it doesn't exist. If you want closing costs, you ask the seller for it. You want a home warranty, you ask the seller for it. You want the buyer's compensation, the buyer's agent compensation to be paid, you ask the seller for it. All those things you ask the seller. You let the seller tell you no, but don't forget you ask for it anyway. My job is to make sure you understand the cost before you ever write a check.
Before you go forward, Viv,
Go ahead.
can you go back one, please?
Yeah, sure.
Um,
Go
you
ahead.
were covering the costs, and I think you skipped on the inspections, and that one is one that you pay out of pocket each time you get an inspection done. This is not something that's paid at closing. It's for each inspection that's done. So if you're looking at multiple houses, each house gets an inspection. So definitely make good choices before committing to a home that you want to purchase. That's
Yeah,
it.
yeah, thanks. And then yeah, the inspection. I never let anyone skip their inspection. It's always something that with me you have to get it done because I do not want you to be buying a house that is not inspected or it's falling apart or there's wood rot or there's termites and stuff like that. I am here to protect your money and protect your interest because that is what I do. I am not going to push you inside of a house in order to buy a house because of money. I'm going to make sure that you're comfortable there because you know what? In the long run, I want to make sure that you're going to be sending me back referrals and you're going to be sending and I'm going to take care of you, okay, and then you're going to do a good review for me because I want to make sure that I'm you're trusting me to take care of your interest because you don't actually know how it is to buy a house, so I'm teaching you how to buy a house, so I'm supposed to protect your best interest. So it is one thing that we're not going to skip. And again, the inspection, what happens is there's a cost to it. I can't tell you what the cost is. It's between a range again. It's between the square foot of the house. You might find somebody charge you 525, and you might find somebody charges 625. There's a bunch of inspection. We're not going to go through that because I went through that in the home buyer class. All the different inspection that there is out there, and there's quite a few. Not every house have the same inspection. The home buying process step. Here's where. Hang on, kittens. Okay, the home buyer process step by step. Okay, so I'm going to go slow through this so you can understand it, so everyone can understand it. Pre-approval is first. Okay, so your realtor will send you to the lender. Okay, so you do the pre-approval, and then what they're going to do is they're going to make sure that you can afford the house. Okay, what can you afford? Okay, your income to debt, what money do you have left over after you pay your debt to go towards your house? That's what you can afford. So if you can afford 300,000, if you can afford 150, if you can afford 250 after you pay all those bills or those debt that are paid, then that's what's left over for you to buy a house. They're going to make sure that you're not overspending on a house. They want to make sure, because they want to make sure that the house is not coming back to them. Okay. Making an offer. Okay. We submit a price and an offer for you. You tell me what you want inside the offer, so I'm going to tell you what the terms are. I'm going to help you tell the seller what terms you want. I want a home warranty. I want you to pay 3% closing costs for me. Okay. I want to pay this amount for the house. I want to close in 60 days. I want 10 days inspection. That's our stuff that goes in your offer. I normally share a copy of the contract with the buyer, so the buyer has that up front, so they can go ahead and read over it. And if they have any question, they can let me know. But the only thing that changes on the contract is just the lines that are fillable. Everything else is the Florida realtor that fills those out, and all we do is fill out the property address, the description, how much you're offering for the property, how many days you want inspection, how many days you want for closing. Those things are the things we fill out. We can't change those. You tell me what to put on those. But usually, even if you don't tell me what to put on it, I know what to put on it, and I'm going to put what I think you need on it. And then of course you sign it, so that means you're giving me permission to send this over to the seller, because these are your wishes. I'm taking your wishes on a piece of paper, sending it over to the seller. They review it. Either they're going to sign it or they're going to counter it. They might says I might put 10 days inspection on it, and the seller might decide, no, I'm not giving you 10 days. I'm giving you 7 days. So then, okay, we can do it in 7 days. That's fine. But, we go with the maximum to begin with. So, we submit the offer, the price, the terms, and the seller reviews it. Okay. Now, after you goes on the contract, okay, you get on the contract, then it's the inspection. And then, of course, we negotiate back and forth. When the inspection comes up, let's say the inspection comes up. I know this is probably a question that somebody might have. When the inspection comes up, and let's say there's something needs to be fixed. First of all, I would ask up front, okay, Mr. Seller, if there's something that needs to be fixed, my buyer is using down payment assistance. Are you able to fix those things? If they said no, Neville and I took out a buyer over the weekend, and the buyer liked the property. I sent back the listing agent a message and said, my buyer liked the property. I'd like to make an offer on the property. I said, if the buyer is using Orange County down payment assistance, if there's anything needs to be fixed, will you fix it? The seller says no. So I did not make that offer. Okay, because the seller already tell you no, they're not fixing it. So why would you go waste your money on it and thinking nothing is wrong with the property? The majority of the time, even if it's a new house, there's always something wrong with the property. Okay, so you need to make sure that you hear what they're saying. Even though it says on the multiple listing service as is, some seller will still fix it. Neville and I closed on a house the other day, a few weeks ago, and there was like 3 things needed to be fixed. We were using Orange County down payment program, and we asked the seller to fix it, and the seller fixed it. Today we text the buyer. The buyer sent us a picture that they paint the room. The room is beautiful. That means she's moving in. She painted the room, and she was asking me about the grass and stuff like that. But she painted the room, but the seller fixed it. If the seller did not fix that, then we could not move forward, because Orange County will not cut the check not unless the seller says, hey, everything on the inspection report that needs to be done is done. So don't push the button. If they said no, they're not fixing it, don't waste your time. Don't waste your time. So but some buyers might ask me, can I go back and renegotiate the price if stuff need to be fixed? No, you cannot. You cannot negotiate the price, because what happened in Orange County is going to want those stuff to be fixed. So the seller is not going to, can't lower the price of the property in order for you to move forward. The seller has to take that money and then fix whatever needs to be fixed. Keep in mind, the seller might come back to you and says that, okay, now I got to fix some stuff. I was giving you 3%. I'm only giving you 2.5%, or I'm only giving you 2%, because that money, I'm going to need to use that money to fix it. And it's still okay, because you're still getting money from Orange County. You might be getting money from the lender. You're still okay. You're still fine. You don't have to be greedy. It's okay. You can work with the seller that way, because you got to remember, they gave you closing costs. Some of them give you 20,000, 10,000, 5,000, 2,000, 1,000. You just never know what they're giving you. So it's okay to say, okay, I'm giving you back some of the money in order to take it and fix the house if you really want the house. If not, then you're going to waste your money on inspection, and then you might waste your money on appraisal too, because sometimes the lender go ahead and order the appraisal up front and everything. And then here you are. Sometimes the appraisal is getting done the same day the inspection is getting done. Because if you put 10 days on your inspection, and the lender does your application and everything is good, and he ordered your appraisal the 5th day, and then you're not getting your inspection done to the 7th day, your appraisal is going to come back before your inspection. Because sometimes the turnaround is fast. Okay. So appraisal and underwriter. Keep in mind, I think I mentioned this before, that the underwriter is the one that makes the final decision. It's not the lender. Okay. So a lot of time, don't blame the lender for something that the underwriter, even though sometimes the lender is supposed to catch it, but not necessarily. That's why a group of underwriter, they sit down, they go over it and they said, okay, yes, this is, I don't like this. Okay. When the lender might not, because the lender is not the underwriter. The lender didn't get trained to be an underwriter. He got trained to be a lender. So, those are two different things. Clear to close. Yeah. After your loan is approved. After your loan is approved, then the underwriter looks at it and says, your loan is approved, then you're clear to close. Remember, when you're clear to close, that's final approval. That's time to move forward. But do not change anything. Do not go out and buy a car. Do not pay your payment late. Do not do none of that stuff. Make sure that you're not going out and buying furniture, appliances. Make sure you're not doing none of that, because if not, what's going to happen? You're going to be you might be unapproving yourself, because you just went out and bought all that stuff. Because don't forget, the lender today, I had a closing today, and we were supposed to close it yesterday, but there was a blizzard in New York, so he couldn't get to check. He couldn't get to check to see that the buyer is still working. So we didn't close it yesterday. But then I got a message at 4:30 today that says that they were closing today, because the lender was able to check the buyer's employment. They check your employment the day of closing. They check it the day before, and they check it the day of. Okay, so keep that in mind. That's why I said, don't go out there and buy a car, because they're going to check your credit as well. Okay, they don't joke, because they're lending you their money. Think about somebody lending you, let's say $300,000. They're lending you. They don't joke. Okay, so be very careful of that. And then day of closing. The day of closing, of course, you'll sign all your documents. Make sure that you are bringing proof of ID. Make sure you're bringing at least 2 proof of ID. You're bringing a driver's license, or you might bring a credit card or insurance card or something, 2 proof of ID, just in case. One needs to have a picture on it. You'll sign all your documents. You'll sign 2 sets of documents. If you're getting the down payment, you're going to sign Orange County down payment document, and you're also going to sign the lender's document. So those are 2 separate documents you're going to sign. If you don't, make sure you understand that up front. Ask your lender. If you have any question about the document, ask your lender, because those are big ticket items. And here you're buying a house. The mortgage on it is going to be 30 years. It's going to be a 30-year mortgage. So, it's big. It's big. It's the biggest purchase of your life. And keep in mind, like Neville says, you might be getting the grant or that bond for 10 years. You can always sell that house back. You know, you can, if you don't feel like you don't want to live there for 5 years, 7 years, you can sell it back. All you do is whatever proration that's left over, then you just Orange County take that money out. Let's say the house value goes up and you had $100,000 equity in it, or you had 70,000 or 50,000. You keep the rest of the money, and then let's say you already lived in the house 5 years and you had another 5 years, and let's say you owe $20,000 and you got $75,000. What they will do is take $20,000 out of the 75 and you get the rest of the money. That's how that works. But you get your key, you sign all your documents, and the house is yours. And keep in mind that you have to keep up the grass. Okay, you got to maintain it. You got to change the filter on the house, on the AC and things like that. It's your house now, so you have to maintain it. If you live in an apartment now, then what happened is the maintenance person come and do that. So you want to make sure you have a handyman, whether it's your husband, your boyfriend, or whatever, somebody handy that can help you with some of
Hey,
those
Viv.
things, or somebody that's reasonable
Viv,
that can help with those things. Go
can you hear
ahead.
me okay?
Mhm.
A lot of
Yep,
time the
I can hear
ladies
you.
are more handy than the guys these days. They're more adventurous doing stuff like that. Um,
Yep.
the actual question that I had though was on closing day, suppose the person needs to bring some money for the closing. What do they need to bring?
If they need to bring money for the closing, usually you can't just bring the money. You have to wire it the day off before you get to closing. You can wire it the day before because you'll get your numbers the day before. Some lenders don't give it to you until the day off. But what they will do is on the CD, which is the closing disclosure, or if not the Alta, okay, it'll tell you how much money you need to bring to closing. One of my buyer had to bring like $740 to closing. you
Awesome.
know yeah, so you just never know how much. In some, so I've seen Orange County that says somebody need to bring $500 to closing, so you just never know.
So no checks anymore?
No, you got to wire that money ahead of time.
Awesome.
Yeah, you have to wire that money ahead of time. Not if it's an Orange County check, they will take it. Okay, but they will not take your personal check. But if it comes from Orange County, they'll take it. So good question, Neville. So remember, many buyers disqualify themselves too early, and a quick review can change all of that with us. Ask as many questions as you want to. So buyer's agent. Let's talk about buyer's agent. What do we do? Okay, we represent you. We're the one with all the contracts and all the addendums in order to fill them out so you can sign them and we can send it over to the seller, because that's where our farm comes. The forms are licensed to the realtor. Okay, and the bottom of it, you'll see that it says licensed to whichever realtor that filled the forms out. So we're the one that holds those forms. You can't go online and get them because we're licensed realtor. We are your advocacy. Okay, we protect you, we protect your interests, and then we walk you through step by step. We help you negotiate and we guide you. And then we explain everything. We explain everything that happened and answer all your questions. And we are the one that help keep everything together and keep track of all the dates. Because if you miss any dates on your contract, let's say you missed delivering your escrow, they can keep your money. They can keep your money if you miss delivering your escrow. You want to make sure that you're staying within contract and you're going by whatever on there. So because of that, our you know you have to sign a buyer's brokerage agreement of compensation. Said you will compensate us. We put a certain amount on there, a certain percentage amount, and then also there's an admin fee that's on there. For me and you don't have to worry about negotiating that. If you're using me, you don't have to worry about negotiating it. I put that on there for the seller so I can negotiate that with the seller. But then if the seller decide that they're not going to pay it or they can't pay it, then of course I come back to you. But then that's for you to say, hey, I can't do this, and then you'll be surprised to know. Sometimes when you say you can't do that, a lot of hey, I can't pay my buyer's agent. Some of the seller might say, okay, well, we'll help out. You just never know. Whatever you want, just like I said, put it in the contract. And every buyer that works with a realtor, you have to sign a buyer's brokerage agreement. That's the first thing that you do, because we cannot take you out to go look at Mr. Seller's house without you signing that. And then keep that in mind that we negotiate that for you for them to pay our compensation. And in many cases, they pay it without any issue. Because if they want to sell their house, they're gonna pay it. Okay, so Anything on that, Neville? You have anything you want to say on that?
You can keep going forward.
Okay, special situation I have help with. I help with helping seniors, children buy without putting themselves at risk. Right sizing. That mean with senior upsizing or downsizing or right sizing. Some senior moving out of bigger houses and into smaller houses, and then find out what truly fits them on their next chapter of life. Buying while selling without unnecessary stress. We do that. Relocate into Central Florida with local guidance, and then protecting families' wealth and their legacy through smart planning. Because there's a lot of wealth in real estate. There is a lot of wealth. These situations require strategies, not guesswork. So that's why we're there to help you through it. When we sell real estate, we're not guessing. We have to keep up our license every year. Every year we have to keep our license up, to make sure every 2 years we have to renew our license. We have to have 14 credit hour. We have to take ethics, and we have to take a law course in order to be able to renew our license. And then of course we have to pay for it. So that's where we are. This is my contact information. What happens tonight? You book a one-on-one consultation with me, and I'll review your situation, and then be proactive. You want to buy a house, keep moving forward, get additional question answer, and don't stop until you get your house. Okay, do not stop until you get your house. A lot of people, because sometimes they hit a bump in the road, they all of a sudden they give up, and they stop. They say join the next HUD class or event for continue ahead. You already took that already. Most buyer already took that. And then, but any buyers that have not taken that, that would be my next suggestion. Take the HUD certified class. It's 3 nights. It's on Zoom. It's from 6:30 to 9 o'clock. And then it's 3 nights, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. First Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of the month. And after that, you graduate, you get 2 years certificate, and you can buy a house within. So you have time, buy a house within 2 years. You don't want to wait for the 2 years, because a lot of time it runs out. And then if it runs out at the end, let's say 2 years, 1 year and 5 months or 1 year and 6 months come, and then you don't buy a house, then you're gonna have to take it all over again. You're gonna have to sit in class and get it renewed. So stay connected by email, text messages, resource update. I give out a lot of information. I text people, I send them stuff that I see, but I keep up in touch with them to make sure that they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. And then keep in mind, you have to also do your own due diligence as well. You have to make sure that you're keeping in touch with me. You want to buy a house. I'm not going to chase you. Okay. I'm not going to chase you. Okay. Because you want to buy a house. Okay. You should be chasing me. Okay. Like Yolanda would say, what's next, Miss Biv? What's next? I like that. What's next, Miss Biv? Don't leave any question unanswered. Leave with a plan. Okay. That's my contact information below. And Neville can put his contact information in the chat. Okay. I'm going to stop sharing. And then let's go with chatting and answering questions now. All right. You can unmute yourself, and let's talk. Let's talk a little bit here. Let me answer Neville and I answer any question that you may have now.
Okay. So I got a laundry list of them. I'm sorry.
That's all right. That's all right. We're gonna answer every single one of them tonight.
Coming up. So I want a forever home. I don't want a starter home. And every time I turn around, I hear somebody saying, that's a good starter home. That's a good starter home. What if I want this to be my forever home? Do I have to limit myself with what I'm looking for in a house per se, like price wise?
Neville, you want to take that, and then I'll piggyback off of you.
My response to that is you have to go where your pocket can take you. And also, you don't want to be house poor at the same time. Although your mindset is to have a forever home, what you are looking at today might not fit your needs in 5 to 10 years. So yes, you should go after something that fits you, that you can afford and all that, with the mindset of being there. Time goes by really fast. If I remember from your video, you look like you're a little bit over 21, like I am, but not as far as I am. And the past 10 years have flown by just like that, as at least for me. I met Viv about 8 years ago, and it feels like it was just yesterday. And I can definitely appreciate the idea of having a forever home because that's how we grew up. We grew up being stable.
Mm-hmm.
It's a different world now. There's a lot of movement everywhere. So, we don't know what tomorrow brings us, but the idea is to be stable. And one person's starter home is another person's, forever home. It's what fits you.
Okay, and here's my point of view on that. So you're probably going to get two answers on it.
Yeah,
Okay,
you
so
should.
so with a starter home, for me, I would say look for a home that you're comfortable in. It's 3 bedroom, 2 bath.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because you want to build generational wealth. If
Mm-hmm.
you're looking for a forever home,
Mm-hmm.
it could be your forever home because trust me, this home I'm living in is 1,400 square feet, and I really don't plan on moving anywhere. You understand what I'm saying? But when you say, when we talk about starter home, that's why we call it starter home because it might be 1,200 square feet, it might be 1,400 square feet. Okay. But even though it's a small home, you call it a starter home compared to, okay, so let's say, okay, for example, I bought this house at $117,000. Now it's worth $400,000. If I want, I can sell that house and go buy a bigger house, but I don't really want to because then my payment is going to be bigger.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and like Neville says, I don't want to live house poor. I want to go on vacation. I want to do this. I want to do that. So the bigger the house is going to be the bigger the payment. So look for a house that the house that we closed on, it was a nice little house. I think it 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom, Neville?
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was a nice, strong, solid house, and it was on its own lot. Okay. And that house could be her forever home. Okay, because a strong house compared to a nice big house, and then the kids are all grown and gone, and then you're empty nester, and now you're gonna have to sell this house or do whatever. But just think about if you just right now don't set your pocketbook where you cannot reach it. Right now, concentrate on what when the lender tell you, okay, Yolanda, you're approved at 350. You're gonna buy what 350 can buy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then, okay, you might say, okay, well, 2 years, I'm outgrown this house. Now you might have gotten some equity inside of it. You bought it, let's say you bought it at 350. Okay. This house might be 400,000 now. You can sell this house, okay, and go buy another house. Okay, because you're not waiting because because remember the lender just don't give you money. He's going to give you money according to what you can afford. Okay, so don't have that in your back of your mind that says I want to forever home because remember you're creating generational wealth. You're starting off here, okay? Because most people, just like we talked in the HEA, most people don't live in a house for 30 years, but some people do,
Mm-hmm.
and they pay off the mortgage.
Mm-hmm.
So your thing is to make sure that the house is livable, you're comfortable inside of it, and you love the house.
Okay.
Okay, and then after that you can sell it and move on, and that's why I'm good. I'm happy that Orange County don't penalize you by just saying you can't move from this house. You can
Yeah.
move from this house because they do a proration, and that's why they do that because they know people don't live in a house. They give you 10 years because they know that's usually normal that you live in a house 10 years. After that, then you can move out, and then when once that 10-year pass, the grant is forgivable. You can whatever money that you make off of this house, you go put on your next house, and it's your money. So keep that in mind. Keep the focus on that. Don't worry about a forever home because you're probably not going to live in that house for 30 years.
Okay.
Okay.
That was a good answer. I like that. I
You
grew
liked
up.
her answer better than mine? Is that what you're saying?
No, well, I grew up in one house, and my grandparents they passed the house down. My
Yeah.
grandparents never sold that house. They built that house, passed it down. And that's what makes me think I want to do the same thing. Stabilization and, a house that I'm comfortable in.
Or you hear what you
I
said. You
agree.
said they built that home. That means they built the home according to how they wanted it.
Mm-hmm. They
Right.
did.
So now you just have to find a house according to how you want it. Because since you're not able to build one, because Orange County normally don't give you the money on a new construction because it takes too long. So they usually give you a house on a home that's already built.
Pre-existing.
Right.
Okay, my next question. If I find a home should I look at it before I reach out to you as my realtor? Should I really look at this home, like walk inside and then say, this is what I want to go forward with, or should I work with you to look for the house?
And that's a great question. You can only work with one realtor. If you walk inside that house with another realtor, you already signed a buyer's brokerage agreement. You cannot go inside that house without signing a buyer's brokerage agreement. So after you sign that buyer's brokerage agreement and walk to that house with that realtor, I cannot help you anymore.
No, I mean, like, if they're the one selling it and that's their realtor,
No.
can I just say, can
Nope.
I look? No,
Nope.
I
Nope.
must reach out to you and say, I want to look at this house.
And that's a great question. You must reach out to me because before I take you out, you're going to sign a buyer's brokerage agreement. So it's already going to be signed.
Okay.
It's going to be signed, but that's a great question. Yeah, you can always drive by the house and look on the outside of it, and then contact Neville and I. And then what we do is we make an appointment to take you inside the house. You will already sign a buyer's brokerage agreement with us.
Okay. Do you have a list of homes that you can say these are how much they're selling these properties for, and I can look at it?
Yes, I'll send you a list. Okay.
Okay.
All the houses are in the same platform. So every realtor that lists these houses, they're inside of a platform called multiple listing service. So every realtor put their house in the same platform. So what I do is set you up on a search according to what you're qualified for. Let's say you're qualified for, we're still going to use the 350. Let's say you're qualified for 350. I might send you houses at 355 or 360, no more than that.
Okay.
In this climate.
In this climate, yeah. I learned yesterday I can't afford a house. I can barely afford a tool shed according to that. Okay. Anyways, how can I learn about grants and stuff like that? Is there a site where you can learn about all the grants that are out there?
No.
I asked the lender.
The lender is going to tell you what's available according to your income and according to what county you're buying in. Every county has, and these are some great questions. Yeah, the lender is going to tell you what county you're buying in, and they're going to tell you what's available in those counties because each county is different. If you go to Osceola County, they might say, okay, Osceola County has grants up to 80,000, Orange County 70,000, Tampa, Hillsborough County 125, Lake County 50,000. So every county has their own grants.
And is it each lender have access to grant knowledge, just like a few grants here, or each lender know about all the grants that are out there?
They don't know about all of them, but no lender is going to know about all of them. They're just going to know about all the areas that they service, what's available in that area. Okay, so it's not one. Okay, so Orange County lender that works mainly in Orange County, they might not know because even with me, I just learned because I am on the affordable housing. Okay, I was appointed by Governor DeSantis on the Affordable Housing Committee, and I didn't even know that there was a SHIP program. Okay, that there was a SHIP program that gives you up to 50,000 in Lake County. I was always thinking it was 7,000, but that's why I said a lot of people, some lenders don't know it, but that's why I said Oscar, I think, was the one that you reached out to or something like that. He is pretty familiar. And he has closed quite a few loans for us. He's pretty familiar. And then he also help you with closing costs. And he's really good, but he knows about, because he specializes in that stuff, so he knows about it. So that, for me, I like somebody that specializes in something, because when they specialize in it, they stay in it and they stay in the know, compared to another lender that they do everything, and they give you all kinds of different programs and stuff like that. But with Oscar will find what's available for you. And for me, Oscar is really good because he finds you the one. I think he gives you, so far, I think he's the lender that gave the most money.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
Another question that I have, out of the $3,500 that I should have, and I just use 35 as my
right.
Out of the $3,500 that I must have, does the appraisal come from out of that? Does the inspection cost come from out of that? And am I still going to need to show that I got a substantial amount in savings um, to go through this home buyer process?
No, okay, so what comes out of that $3,500 is going to be your escrow or your earnest money deposit. And
Okay.
then that's your inspection money. And that's all the money that you really need to show.
Okay.
Oh,
So at the end of the day, um, my savings is 3,500, right? Me personally, Yolanda.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, I don't have to come up with no money outside of those $3,500 per se, or should I say that's just the baseline? I'm gonna need more.
You might need more. The more money you save, the better off it is for you, just in case the lender comes back and they got to back some money out of someplace because of some reason.
Okay.
But that's a good start. Okay, because the appraisal money is gonna go in your closing costs. And your closing costs, either Orange County might give it to you, the lender might give it to you, the seller might give it to you. So those are where you get gathering your money from. So your average, you can have about $3,500 in your account and you're good to go.
Okay.
But if you have more, it's always better, just in case, because it's good when you move in. You can buy yourself a new sofa. You can buy because you have the extra money saved up because you were disciplined enough to keep the money there.
And remember, for your money to count as far as lending wise, it's
Mhm.
got to be in an account. It can't just come from anywhere. You need to have it seasoned, so to
Okay.
speak.
Okay.
So, Viv, you can expound on that if you'd like to.
You need to make sure that the money is not, we call it mattress money, make sure it's not underneath your mattress. So you can't go borrow it out of somebody's account and put it in yours. It needs to be in your account. But if you did do that, you can get a gift. You can get a gift from someone. So let's say you got a gift from your sister or your mom or your dad or your brother. But you would tell the lender, I'm getting a gift from my brother of $1,300 or $13,000 or $5,000. I'm getting a grant, I'm getting a gift from them. So what will happen is the lender has to follow the money trail. So what will happen is they will solicit or they will ask you for your brother's bank account to see that the $3,500 or $13,000 came out of that account and it into yours. So that's okay because you're getting a gift. And then of course there's going to be a gift letter, and the lender will help you write a gift letter to say, hey, I'm getting $13,000 from my brother.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, does credit help with now credit score question? Does credit help with approval and the APR, or is it I need my credit just to get approved?
Yeah, your credit help with everything. Your credit help with the approval and it help with the APR, because the better your credit is, the lower the interest rate is going to be. So the higher your credit. So that's why I said if you got to 640, you will get a good interest rate compared to being at 580.
Okay.
It help with both.
Okay. If the seller doesn't pay the closing costs, is that a deal breaker?
I would say yes, it is for you, maybe.
Okay.
That also depends on how much money you're getting from the lender and the Orange County down payment, because a lot of time you might get enough money from that in order to subsidize your closing costs. So it Oscar will tell you, or the lender will tell you, it's not necessarily a deal breaker, but you want to ask for it anyway. So let's say we asked for 3% and they came back and said, I'm only giving you 1.5, I'm giving you 2%. That's okay, because they're still giving you enough money. Because what's going to happen is they're going to pay your closing costs, and then they're also going to pay my buyer's compensation.
But if they don't pay any of that,
then you walk away,
right,
because you're giving me instruction of making your offer. You're giving me instruction and saying, I want you to go make an offer, because whatever you tell me is what I'm going to send over to the seller. So you're giving me permission. You got to sign those documents to say, hey, I want the seller to pay my closing costs, and I also want the seller to pay my buyer's agent fee.
Does that change do the negotiations like that change? Can I say, well, I changed my mind about that? Can you do that as you go, or that must be done ahead of time?
No, there's a certain structure, so you can't just get up and say you change your mind. The
Okay.
contract has to dictate what you do. So let's say you
Okay.
filled out the contract, and the contract says 10 days for inspection. You need to make sure you get your inspection done in 10 days. Okay. I usually make sure you get it done in 8 days, because a lot of time when you go back to the seller to ask them to fix something, it takes them a while. And you don't want to be outside that 10 days, because if you're outside that 10 days, you're going to lose your escrow. So you need to make sure that you're within that guideline. Then you can change your mind, say you want to cancel the contract once you're in your guideline. Let's say you did not get your loan approved, okay, and you're inside your guideline. You say, well, 30 days for loan approval. Okay, and you only got, and you got it done in the 31 days. You're outside of contract, so now you will lose your escrow money. So now you have to stay. You can't just get up and change your mind like that, unless there's a certain milestone where the inspection didn't go well, you did not get your loan approved, things like that, or if not, the appraiser came back and it was too low, and the seller doesn't want to negotiate to lower the price. Then that's when you can cancel your contract because of those milestones.
Okay. What is buyer's compensation? What is that?
A buyer's compensation is there's two brokers. There's a listing agent, and the seller pays the listing agent. And then you pay the buyer's agent. Okay, so you sign an agreement. That's why I say you sign an agreement before I take you out, said you're going to pay my compensation. But that's why I said we will ask the seller to pay that. And if you decide you don't have the money to pay that, then what will happen is you're going to have to walk away from that contract, because if you don't have the money to pay me, you're going to have to walk away until you find a seller that will pay. So that's the buyer's compensation, and you're going to have to sign an agreement on that. And when I'm finished, probably tomorrow, I'm going to send it to you to sign it.
Okay. Yeah. What is buyer's credit?
Buyer's credit is money that you get for your closing costs. So let's say you said that you want 3% of the price of the property. So that's buyer's credit. So you are the buyer, the seller's crediting you that money in order for you not to have to take money out of your pocket or out of your bank account.
Okay. I think that was just all of my questions.
Wow, what great question.
No, sorry. So what if I have a conversation with the lender and a life circumstance happen or a life change happen since I've had the conversation with the lender? Should I call that lender back, that same lender, and say, here's the update?
Yep. Because you're only same thing you're dealing with. You're dealing with one realtor and one lender.
Okay.
You're not putting in two separate applications.
Okay. I'll express what happened to you privately rather than on the YouTube online. Yeah. But right. There's change today. Just like out of nowhere.
Right. Stuff happened, and that's why you can move yourself through it, and and still prepare yourself, because even if you cannot buy right now, you can get yourself prepared to buy down the road. Retaking the home buyers class and stuff like that, that's simple. You can just retake that if you go beyond, let's say, you needed to buy a house in 2 years. If you go beyond that, you can just take the home buyers class, because circumstances happened. Circumstances.
No, but not a circumstance is going to knock me off my path like that. No. It's just about my debt.
Okay.
Changing.
Right.
Like you said, you'll talk about that, but you definitely brought up a great point in the sense that whatever is going on, it's better to know now. That way the lender can help you, because it sucks that you get to closing day and then you find out, the underwriter flags something that just happened within the last week that they should have known about, or they flag something that happened 6 months ago, but it just showed up. So all the things that that's pertinent to you, definitely let them know, because at some point they're trying to lend you $300,000. I'm just throwing a number out there.
Got it.
If you were trying to lend somebody $300,000, you'd want to know that you're going to get paid back.
Yeah.
So they have all the processes, and everything is computerized these days. So databases talk to each other.
Okay.
Yeah. That's why I said, tell the lender everything up front. He'll help you work it out and help you figure it out, and he'll give you guidance. And then when in doubt, go back to the housing counselor. What I've been telling everyone to do. If you, Maria, she is really good about getting back to you, but sometimes she might miss an email. Copy me on it or something like that so I can see and I can help you follow up with it, because you have to be determined enough to get to go after what you want, Yolanda. You
Mhm.
can't just want something and think that, okay, well, I'm gonna wait till the realtor and I'm gonna wait till the lender contact me. You got to go after it. You want it to, in
Yeah.
Jamaica they said if you want good, you have to run. You have to
Yeah.
walk before you can
Yeah.
crawl. And those
Yeah.
kind of thing. You have to go after it. When I remember when I wanted to get this house, I was single when I bought the house,
Mhm.
okay, and I was a single mom when I bought the house. But I wanted this house because in Jamaica we don't live in rental property. We always live in houses that we own.
Mhm.
And same thing when I came to America, we always lived in property that we own. So
Mhm.
I wanted a house. I didn't want to live in an apartment. You know what I did? I used to get my hair done every week. I used to get my hair done and my nail done. You know
Mhm.
what I did? What I did was I cut out everything. Okay, I cut
Mhm.
off because back then, 20 something years ago, I didn't know about any down payment assistance. So I had to make sure I had my own money. But I cut out everything. I cut out my hair, my nails, my everything, and I saved so much money that I had my down payment, I had my closing costs, and then I had lots of money left over in my account to do whatever it is that I wanted to do. Whether I wanted to buy new furniture, because I think I had gotten rid of my furniture because I sold my house to my aunt. Okay, and I was living inside her house, and then it was her furniture. I was living inside 2 rooms. I still lived in 2 rooms out of the house that I sold her. But then I had money when I moved into this house in order to buy new furniture. So so that's how you do. You tighten your belt.
Mhm.
Okay, you live good now. You live on small things now, so then you can live on big things later. Because you have that's what I like about you so much, because you're so determined.
Mhm.
You're so determined, and
Mhm.
anything I can do to help you, anything I can do to help you, I will be helping you,
Thank you. The
because you're very
classes like tonight is helpful. Classes
yeah.
like tonight is helpful
Yeah, and
because
that's why I said, we started this because we were
yeah,
so rushed in the class
yeah,
that, buyers had lots of questions. Some of them are shy, they don't want to talk and stuff like that. They can come on and have a one-on-one with Neville and I.
yeah, yeah,
You know.
yeah. But for me, I've taken this class before. I took it, of course, pre-COVID, 20 something years ago. And I took the class and they fed you pizza for the day and you stayed in a room all
Yep,
day long.
yep, yep. I used to teach it like that. Yep.
And then you walk away from the class because you had a little momentum going in.
Yeah.
Walk away from the class feeling overwhelmed, like
See,
I
you see
got
what
to
I'm telling you, Neville. You see what I'm
go
telling you.
get all of this stuff, and then my credit is, not the greatest. And there was nobody following up after me saying, "How's it going? You know, where are you? How can I help? Raise
Wow.
to the next level." So then it fell off.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
So then I lost interest. But now not even you would stop me from buying that house. You know what I mean?
That's
Like
what I'm talking about, girl. That's what I'm
if
talking
I
about.
go
Yeah.
unlock them doors and walk through them myself, I'm
That's
gonna
what,
get in a house.
that's what
I
I'm
will
talking about.
not be in this place in
That's
December
right.
of 2026. I
That's
am
right,
already
girl.
committed. I am on a tight deadline with myself. I've cut off Prime, I've cut off well, I lowered Disney Channel, I lowered Spectrum, but I cut off Prime. I unsubscribed to just other stuff because I've tightened my belt.
Good for you, girl. Good for you. I am so proud of you. I am
That's
so proud of you.
a target to
Yeah.
get to,
Yeah.
and um, I'm going to make it. I'm going
Yes.
to make it.
And anything Neville and I can do to help you, we are there to help you. Anything we can do.
I got a Discover card, but I got the Discover card before this class. I got it in
Okay.
December, um,
Okay.
and I forgot to send it over to the document people. But um,
Okay.
I want to follow everything that you all say. You all are homeowners, not me.
Yeah. And then okay, Neville, she's talking about sending the information. So she sent all the information over to the housing counselor. She sent that information over, so she's waiting to hear back. I saw a message came through today from the document at HEAUSA.gov. So a
Yeah,
message. But just like I said, it's a small company.
yeah,
Okay, we do great work. Okay, but it's a small company, so just keep following up.
Yeah.
And just what like you did, keep copying me on it. And then if it's a while and I don't hear anything, I'll message Maria on WhatsApp or something like that. 'Cause Maria's out of the country.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's not inside the country. Yeah, she's in the country. We talk to her on WhatsApp. So I don't know when she's coming back. She might be coming back soon, or she might already be back. But
Okay.
yeah, but just keep following up, and then keep in the loop. And then I think what I do, I think you told me to keep in touch with you once a month, right?
Well, it looks like it's been a lot more than
Well,
once, but
eventually, yeah,
absolutely,
right. Keep in touch.
absolutely.
So just like I can cheer you on. I can cheer
Yeah.
you on.
Well, it's
You know,
gonna
and
be a lot more than once a month because I can't help myself. You're gonna get sick of me.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah,
I
and that's okay. Every time you find out something, let me know, because then what I do is I can learn from you so I can teach other students. And by the way, if you know anyone else that is looking to take the home buyers workshop, I'm gonna start doing this workshop here the last Thursday of the month. And so then therefore people can come on and they can learn and they can ask any question that they have.
yeah,
God just put it in my spirit, just like you said, you felt overwhelmed. And I felt
yeah,
the same way. I felt like before we had a lender that used to come on that used to take up 45 minutes to an hour out of the class, Neville, remember? And then we kind of talked about that and realized that we were feeling so rushed. And then
yeah,
even now, sometimes we feel rushed. And that's why I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to start this way. I can carry on a one-on-one conversation with people and sit down and talk to them so I can help walk them through, hold their hands and walk them through and purchasing a home.
yeah. It felt like I was getting a lot of information and it was coming so fast, and other
Yeah.
people kept on. For me, I have a little bit of a delayed reaction. So by the time you hanging up, I'm thinking about what question that I have. So I tend to write my questions because
Yeah.
that always happens to me. But I do have one more question for you. What is the difference between a FICO score and the credit score? And what is it that the lender is looking for me, or lender or underwriter?
It's the
Which
same
one?
score. FICO is credit score. They just name it FICO. But it's the same thing. And the lender is looking for to making sure that you're making your payments on time.
Okay.
Okay. And making sure your credit score is at least 640.
Okay.
Okay. So just making sure that everything is paid on time. That's what they're looking for, to see your work history, to make sure that they check your bank account to see how you deposit money in it. Okay,
Okay.
making sure that you don't have zero balance inside your account, and then they're charging you bounce check fee and stuff like that.
Okay.
Those
Yeah.
are the things that the lender look for. So the FICO score and the credit score is the same thing.
Okay.
It's just like escrow and deposit. Those are the same thing. They're just different names. Somebody's calling it. You have
Okay.
anything to add to that, Neville?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
It's pretty much the same thing.
I think I got a lot of questions covered tonight. I
Very
really
good.
Good.
did. This was um not just re-educational. This was a little bit more in depth.
Yeah.
So I did
Reinforcing.
get a lot of pull from out of this tonight, as opposed to the first home buyers class. I kind of knew the line, but I took a screenshot of something that you had on here that wasn't on the home buyers class
Mhm.
the first time, and it was more so the path that you're taking. Like, this is where you're going to be in this day. This is where you're going to be in this stage. This is what's going to happen in this stage. So that's what I took a
Awesome.
screenshot of.
I like that, and thank you for saying that, because it'll give me the opportunity to because this is the second home buyers workshop that I did this year, and it'll give me the opportunity to update the slide according to the feedback. Because I am also going to take Neville's feedback, and Neville is really good at that. And I'm also going to take your feedback. And what we can do is, because this is the second class, next month is going to be the third workshop. So at least we can perfect it, what people are looking for, and making sure that I did. Yeah, I just kind of, my assistant threw this together for me, because I told her what I wanted. But, I know it's not perfect or anything like that, but it's good to get it that way, where it is. But with your feedback, Neville's feedback, I can get this where exactly when I'm finished, a lot of the question that you're asking, a lot of the question will probably already be answered on the slides.
I have
Right.
one more question, and don't be mad about it.
Oh no, oh no, I'm
I'm
not.
mad.
I totally
No, go
forgot.
ahead.
initially. If someone is selling their home and it says home for
For
sale,
sale
like
by owner.
owner,
Yeah.
I've seen two of those. If someone is selling their home and will those homes be on your website as well that you can send me out to look at?
Okay, so if you see them, boy, what a great question that is. If you see them, what you do is copy down the street address, okay, and copy down the phone number and the name of the person that's on it. And what I'm going to do is you're going to send it to me and I'm going to call them. I'm going to say, Mr. Seller, my buyer saw your house and they were interested in it. I'm wondering if you're paying buyer's agent compensation. I'm going to negotiate that for you. If they say no, then we walk away. If they say yes, then what I do is I take you to go look at it, and then the seller will sign an agreement, says I'll pay the buyer's agent X amount of dollar. But what a great question that is. I am also going to put that on my slide as well. And that's why I said a lot of these questions that you're asking. As a matter of fact, you have your question written down. Can you do me a favor and send me, when you're done, send me a screenshot of it? Because what I'm going to do is update my slide to match a lot of those questions. Because if you're asking them, that means somebody else is asking them.
Okay. All right. I didn't know, because I'm like, oh, I bet you they said they got other stuff to do tonight.
Oh
The
no, I'm good. I usually plan these classes when I have time,
Okay.
and then I asked Chat GPT when is the best night. They said it was Tuesday night, but I find out some people can't come Tuesday night because they go to church. But what I'm going to do is, when I'm finished with this, it's on YouTube. So what I'm going to do is text it to them so they can watch it.
Good.
So but
Yeah.
then I pick a night that I thought was good, but they say Thursday night is good, so that's why I said
Yeah.
in March I'm going to have it Thursday night from 6:30 to 7:30 or 7:45 or something like that. We'll run it until all the questions are answered.
Last question.
so
I promise you.
can I
No, that's
give
okay.
you,
Yeah.
actually, go ahead, ask your
No,
Okay.
question.
you do it. Go ahead. You go.
Well, anything real estate related, definitely touch base with your agent, with Viv, with myself,
Okay.
before doing anything. If it's a showing, if you want to know something about a property, definitely contact us first before doing anything with another individual.
Okay. I like that.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I got two more questions for you. One, the first,
Okay.
is it okay to fall in love with a house, or should I not fall in love with it or get any emotional attachment to
No, don't. Yeah, don't fall in love with the house, because what happened is, if all of a sudden you get disappointed and at the end something happened and you're not able to buy that house. So don't fall in love with it. When you can fall in love with it is after we hand you your key.
Okay, I'll take that. I fell in love with a house and now it's mentally attached to me.
Yeah, no, yeah. Because it's not yours yet. So why would you fall in love with it?
It's giving me drive. I don't know, but okay, I get it.
Yeah,
I'll separate myself from it.
yeah, yeah.
It's like it's new, it's in a quiet community, it's over on this side of town.
And
It's
it could be your house. Who knows? Who knows? It could be.
got a garage.
Even if it's new and it's not a mass builder that's building the house, okay, you can still buy it, because once they will wait the 60 days for closing, then you're okay. Is if you go out there and you said the big builders, okay, and another thing too, I know I didn't talk about this, but even though it really does pertain to you, really, but if you walk into a community and you saw a new build, don't go inside that house until you get with your realtor, because remember, the builder has their own realtor and you have your own realtor. So so we work together and get the deal done. But that house that you're talking about, is if it's in a small community, a lot of those builders that are building small community, a lot of them will accept the down payment assistance. So all I have to do is ask them. So it's okay. Who knows? If God wants it to be for you, then it will be for you. So don't rule it out. Something that you can easily send me and I can check it out for you to see where it is, if it's on the multiple listing service. But don't fall in love with any house until you actually get the keys in your hand.
I forgot my second question, but I fell in love with a house. Good question. I cannot think of my second question, and it was vital. So that tells me when it comes up again, I'll send you a message, because it's going to come up.
Yeah.
It's going to come up. I just can't think of it right now, and I didn't write it down.
Yeah, that's why you got to write down your question, girl.
Yeah, I will make sure to do that.
And then yeah, anyone you know that wants to buy a house, just send them my information. We'll invite them on into onto the next class and the next workshop so we can do. And then what eventually I might do is, but I don't really want to invite a lender on because they're going to take up the time talking and stuff
Yeah.
like that. That's why I just want a one-on-one conversation with my buyers and stuff like that. And then a lender can always do what they want to do and have their own conversation. But I don't want to feel rushed. I want to make sure that I'm answering all the buyer's question and then putting their mind at ease and at peace, when they buy their home, they know exactly what to do and you understand the process of buying a house and you will not be taken advantage of you. I teach you how to negotiate. I teach you how, what happens, and then right when you finish closing on that house, I can also help you. You might need service provider. You might need somebody called me today was asking me about, how often the grass is supposed to be watered, who cuts the grass and stuff because we carry on a conversation, like that, make sure that, you understand because it's not just buying the house and then, most people, what they do is they just buy the house and then after that they unsubscribe from my website or they don't answer my text messages. I text them days after days and months after months and then you hear nothing from them. So after a while, you know what, I just stop texting them because I mean if I'm texting you on, I mean you could at least respond.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of them don't
I
necessarily
don't just
respond.
buy it. I want to stay in it.
Yeah. And that's fine because that's why I said pick a house that you like.
Yeah.
Okay. It doesn't have to be the largest house. Pick a house that you like, and then you like the neighborhood. And another thing is drive the neighborhood because that's what's gonna know. Drive the neighborhood to see if it's someplace you actually want to live. Because you might drive the neighborhood in the morning and then it's nice, and then you drive the neighborhood in the night, and then there's just people hanging out in the streets.
Yeah. Yeah.
So those are the things to do. Make sure that it's in the right. I don't sell your house by the school district. I sell your house by the address and where the that's
Mhm.
it. I can't say well this house goes with this school because keep in mind that they do bus student from one school to the other.
I don't have
And
a
things can
school.
change as they are doing now.
Yeah. But I don't have a school kid, so that makes it easier for me. Back then, when I was looking for a house initially, I had 3 school kids, but I don't have that anymore. My daughter is an adult now, and she's in college. So I,
Awesome.
I want to remain on the east side of town. So
Okay.
that's where I'm centrally looking at. I don't want to go on the west side at all. So
Right now, those kids that you have, are any of them working?
my daughter.
All
Well,
right. So
when
let's
I spoke
say,
to the lender last night, the
okay.
the lender told me before you said it's not good to put her on because she doesn't have an income. The lender told me it's almost like the breathing rule. That's what we use at work. Is there an adult in the household, a boyfriend? Is anybody that stay there over 30 days? Or, even if they're in and out and they've been there, like he was asking me all of that. And he said, you absolutely want to put your daughter on the loan. And I said,
Right.
but my daughter doesn't have an income. And
Yeah, but I
today,
thought I thought you said she was working.
no, my daughter's in school.
Oh, okay.
Full-time.
Okay. I got you. Okay. All
But
right. Okay. I think he's trying to tell you that because Orange County wants to know how many people is in your household.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, for that reason.
yeah, yeah,
Right. Because I had an incident the other day where I talked to a lender and there was husband and wife, but the husband didn't want to go on the loan. And because
yeah,
of that, then Orange County didn't give the wife the down payment. They said no. Because what they're in the household, but he doesn't want to go on the loan.
yeah,
But at least with Oscar telling you, your daughter lives with you, even though she's in college, put her on it. Because that's remember I went through that graphic about how many
yeah,
people are in the house. Because the
yeah,
more people in the household, the more money you probably get.
yeah, that's what he said too. Yeah,
Okay, so yeah, so that's why you want to put her on it. Yeah, because with
that's
Orange
why.
County, they want everybody in the household on it. Yeah,
Yeah, that's why I had her to take the course,
yeah,
just in case, and then I don't have to double back and have her to do this.
right.
Going to be going forward, no back paddling. Thank you so much. This was so.
I'm glad that it helps, and I'm going to continue
Good.
doing it. and I'm going to continue sending out the link. I'm going to continue sending this next link, this next class. I'm going to send it out to all the buyers that took their home buyers class and stuff like that. If they want to come in and join, because just like you're explaining to me, this is the first time I'm actually able to sit down like this. Neville and I sit down like this and
Yeah.
answer a question for a home buyer that came out of the home buyers class. This is
Yeah.
really cool and I can understand how you're feeling and stuff like that, because I
Yeah.
totally understand now how you feel. Just like you said, you feel overwhelmed and you don't know where to go or what to do. So yeah, appreciate you.
Get out of that class, when you get out of that class, and then this was my first time taking it. It could have been some of those other ladies' first time, other ladies and gentlemen first time. But when you get out of that class and you just, walk away or whatever, you can feel like, oh, okay, I got the information just in case I decide to use it in the future. You don't have anybody, and especially we as a people need somebody else to help push us, or like accountability partner to say,
right.
Okay, where are you in your steps? Have you done this? Have you reached out and did that? If you got somebody pushing you like that, then you're more than likely going to continue to pursue it. Me, I have a personal drive and determination. I can't even park where I live at in my front door. I gotta pay to park at my front door.
Wow, really?
Because or you're maximized with 2 cars. Well, my daughter, what happened to her car today? But I have more than 2 cars, so I have to park in visitor. So it's that's not a convenience to me. Visitors way down there. That's not a convenience to me. And and then I have a dog, and my dog is my ESA, but it just happens to be a pit bull. And anyhow, I'm upstairs, so she has to go up the stairs. That's a motivation for me. 3, this place is small. That's a huge motivation for me. So all of the things that even made me initially take that class is all of the gas in my car to keep going until I get into my own place. So whatever sent them to the class in the first place, that should be the tool to help them going forward. You both, along with Maria, were able to explain something, but you both in those videos were very insightful, like very insightful. Gave me a lot of tools to use in my journey. So that's why I cut off this and cut off that, and everything now is being about, I'm in this home buyer journey, so I can't do that. They told me to stop working overtime. Do you know that's how I truly fund my lifestyle? But because they said to stop working overtime, that means I need to cut off the things like I got a shopping habit. I got a buying grocery habit, whether I need it or not.
Well, it will curve you. It will, for me, I only buy grocery when I need it. I'm not going on. I go in the supermarket and unless I feel like eating ice cream, I'm not even buying it.
Yeah. Yep.
So
Yep.
that's good for you.
Yeah.
So, but that's when you meet with the lender kind of guide you and tell you what you need to do, because stop working overtime if you don't need to work overtime. I have a girlfriend that she only wants to sell 2 houses because she got to worry about paying back taxes. Yeah, because she's retired and she's drawing her Social Security and whatever money that she makes from the real estate world, she's got to pay back in taxes. So she don't want to do that. So she said, I don't even know if I want to continue. I'm only going to sell 1 or 2 houses a year.
Well, for me, everything that I get on my overage, that's what I use to buy and to do and to help my daughter with and my granddaughter with. But now that told me, well, he says that'll change whether you qualify from 40 or you qualify for 10.
Right.
Right at that mark.
Right.
The other question that I had to ask you, can you learn if do you know when Orange County will change their income guidelines?
They haven't changed it. They don't really change the income guideline. What I saw they did not 2 years ago. Never remember when we went to have lunch with them. They changed the price of the house. Before it was they were only given a house of 300,000 and they moved it up to 350. So they haven't changed the income guide, but they upped the house price. But they haven't done that in a while. So yeah, so we don't really have a magic wand of when they're going to do that.
So, I don't know if I should go on record saying this. I know some people at Orange County.
Mm-hmm.
Should I go on record saying this or no? Just
hang on.
Okay, good. My mom and my mom used to work there.
Mm-hmm.
My mom worked at Orange
So Viv,
Authority.
isn't YouTube still running too?
Yeah.
You stop?
Yeah.
Okay.
You can have this conversation offline.
Yes,
we'll
please.
take it offline.
Can you edit that part out and remove all of that what I just said?
It's already out there, baby. It's
Oh.
live, but it's not like you were saying anything bad anyway, so that's all right. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, but I have relatives that works at I went down and saw somebody that I know that worked at Orange County, but I think they're pretty cool. You know, I had lunch with them and I think they're really what I like about them, they're very nice and they try to get your file through, you know, and they're able to help you. Neville and I went down there, we picked up a check. I went down there the month before, picked up a check, and then Neville and I went down there, but they're real cool people. Yeah.
I'm hoping that that it changes because I'm on the cusp. See, what I forgot to mention to the lender last night, I was in the store. I wasn't, you know what I mean? I wasn't functioning. But what I forgot to mention to the lender last night was I also am employed, self-employed. So I have a 1099 as well.
Okay. Oh, so no, yeah, you just let him put all of that together. He has to put it together because then, just like you said, if you're self-employed and you're employed, then it's going to cut you down. But still, yeah, don't let the amount of money stop you from buying a house. If you were getting 50,000 up here and you were getting $10,000 and that's all you need for your down payment, take the money and buy the house.
I don't I want to maximize
right
opportunity, right?
But don't sit down there and wait for the maximize because just like you said, you work on a 1099 now and then you're also employed. That's going to cut your money down, but do not let that stop you from buying a house because you could be buying a house and all you need is $10,000 down and you're buying that house. You know, you don't have to wait. You don't have to get to 40. You know, you're fine. Okay, you're fine at whatever money that you're getting because you may be going to get closing costs and you're going to get the down payment and you should be still fine. You know, even if you're getting 10,000, remember he was saying that you might get 10,000. That's okay. That's still okay. So long as you're getting other money, you might be getting some closing costs from the seller. You might be getting some money from the lender, you know, so then put all of that together, you still should be fine. So you want to maximize, but that don't mean you have to wait to maximize it because if you have a 1099 job and you have a regular job, it's going to cut your money down, but at least you're getting something. So don't let that stop you. Make sense?
I won't let nothing stop me. Just so you know, I'm not going to let nothing stop
you. You need to make sure you mention that to him as well, though, because you don't want that to become an issue where you tell him that you're now 1099, you're both, and then all of a sudden, then he says, "Well, you know what? The 40,000 that you were qualified for, you're not qualified. You qualify for 10. Make sure you know ahead of time you qualify for the 10.
My taxes also, I had a lot of write-offs.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you need to get that fixed. But the thing is, you don't want the write-off. I'm going to start recording again. So you don't want the write-off, okay? Because the more you write off, because I used to do that too when I used to write off everything. But when I realized when I write off everything, I'm qualified for less house. Okay, so you don't want to write everything off. You qualify for less because you're writing off everything. So when you file your taxes this year, do not write off everything.
I've already done them. I've already submitted them.
Did you already talked to the lender? Because I think you might be able to resend that back. I'm not sure. You'd have to check with the accountant and the lender.
Okay.
Because sometimes you can take it back and redo it. You know, so I'll talk to the lender. That's why I'm glad you're doing all of this stuff up front so you can get it corrected and let the lender guide you in what to do about it.
Okay, because I've already submitted my taxes and I should be getting my refund.
Okay.
This
Friday. Because don't forget, so people going and amend taxes. Don't forget that.
Okay.
You
Okay.
know, yeah, so but just like I said, you want to make sure that you're telling the lender everything up front to make sure
Absolutely.
that when you get there, you're not disappointed. It's better to disappoint you up front than disappoint you when you get on the contract. Now you're being
Yeah.
disappointed.
Yeah. Yeah. You got it.
Yeah,
Got it.
yeah. But man, what a great chat. What a great chat.
Yeah. I know I've held you all almost 2 hours.
Oh, I'm okay. I'm okay. I don't have anything else I'm doing.
I'm sorry, but
Because you know what, this is learning for everyone else, because everyone else is out there watching it now.
yeah.
Because it's on YouTube. Everybody is watching it. It's not live on Facebook, just live on YouTube right now.
Okay. Okay. And I know that I addressed um a lot of different scenarios, but I'm your everyday working person who wants to purchase a home, got older in life, a little seasoned,
Yeah,
you and a little snow on the roof. So
yeah.
I'm, now that I'm ready to
And
purchase a
never is showing you how much snow he's got.
but most people did this process in their 20s, like what I started off doing. And now here I am thinking about, well, how am I going to cover a 30-year mortgage?
Don't
Don't
worry
worry
about
about
it.
that. You're not. Because right now they're finding that the average age buyer is between 30, first time home buyers between 30 and 44.
Don't
So
worry
don't
about it.
yeah, don't worry about
You
that.
are where you are.
You are
This
where
is
you're
your
supposed
turn
to
to
be.
do you.
You are planted where you are supposed to be.
I like that. I like that. That was from last night. I like that.
Yes, that was from
I
last night.
like that. You're planted where you're supposed to be. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really
So
love
yeah,
that.
God don't make any mistakes. So just
Yeah,
keep moving forward and keep encouraging one and keep doing
yeah.
what you're doing and keep tightening your belt, and one day Neville and I will be able to hand you your keys. You know.
Woo, praise God. Not one day. When?
Yeah.
When?
Later
Yes.
this year.
I keep
Yes. We're
when.
working on that. We're working on that.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. Thank you for
You are
both.
welcome. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to
Yeah.
watching you on your journey. I appreciate you guys for listening. Thanks for listening in. Viv the Caribbean Team, Preferred Real Estate Brokers, selling the American dream here in Central Florida. I am here just to protect your family and helping you move forward in your home process and your home buying um, scenarios. Much
Great.
blessings.
Stay well, guys. Bye.
All right, so hang on.